Well, after nearly 2 weeks of mass protests in Egypt, the government's held talks with opposition groups to try to resolve the crisis. But many reformists are determined to get rid of the President Hosni Mubarak immediately, and demonstrators say that they won't stop protesting until that happens. The ABC's Middle East correspondent Ben Knight reports from Cairo.
Cairo might be looking more like its old self, but near Tahrir Square there are still long lines of people wanting to join this protest. In the city, the banks are open, and Cairo's had its first traffic jam in over a week. But while Egyptians might be happy to see law and order back on the streets, that doesn't mean they have to like the officers.
Egyptians will tell you that their traffic police are corrupt and that the riot police are thugs. But the most feared and detested of all are the secret police. And in the past 2 weeks, they haven't gone anywhere.
Human Rights Watch says thousands of Egyptians have been detained by the state since these protests began.
But the military camps literally are overflowing with people in detention right now.
Peter Bookout says while the Egyptian government might be talking about a shift to democracy, inside its prisons, nothing is changing.
It's very brutal. People are tortured. They receive electric shocks. They're often sodomized by their interrogators. They're beaten very brutally.
The organisation says this man, Egypt's new Vice President, Omar Suleiman, has himself been involved in torture in his years as head of military intelligence. Yesterday, Omar Suleiman sat down for talks with the Muslim Brotherhood, an opposition group whose members have frequently been imprisoned by his regime. The government is offering some opposition figures a place on a panel to try and find a way forward to free elections. And the government's also promised that the foreign media in Egypt are free to work. But yesterday, there were more arrests, including the crew from the ABC's foreign correspondent program. Democracy, it's not. But even so, more and more Egyptians seem prepared to trust this government to keep its promise to change. Ben Knight, ABC News, Cairo.